Today, I'm designing the 7 deadly sins as costumes. But I could use your help. See, I'm part of the Indecision Inquisition. Sometimes I loved my designs, and sometimes I had weird feelings about them. And the thing is that I want to make these real life, sew them into costumes, into being. But that means I need to know which designs you like, and which ones I should maybe leave behind. And so, as you look at these designs, keep in mind that they're a little cartoony, largely because my puppy needed emotional support, and apparently I need both hands to draw well. But without further ado, here are the 7 deadly sins.
Pride. What I found interesting about pride is that it's the first sin, the original, and it was basically defined as the opposite of humility. And I view it as an unwillingness to listen, to hear other ideas. And so to represent that idea, I really wanted it to be a leader, cape and all, wearing whites and gold and almost representing themselves as a god figure. And I'm not gonna lie, I am genuinely proud of her, though hopefully not in a crazy way. You know what I mean? And that takes us to our next deadly sin, envy. Envy is characterized by an insatiable desire. But what I thought was interesting is that ye old Wikipedia said that the reason it's considered a sin is because it severs your relationships with others. And that really gave me this image of hands reaching out, grabbing, severing, taking. So I wanted this hand motif and have it be more skeletal. But I really wasn't sold on this design, so I redid it. Version 2 was meant to be a bit more subtle with the skeletal theme, but have more of a shroud of separation. Though I do think I'd try to find a cool see-through layer on top with maybe bones or something. Hard to tell, but I think that would be really cool. But this is the first example of my indecisiveness, and so which one's your favorite? Which one do you think is better representative of envy? Wrath. Wrath is about uncontrollable rage. See, nothing is really wrong with anger, so much as when it comes out in uncontrollable ways, such as trying to punish an innocent party, seeking vengeance, or slamming someone with a punishment that doesn't fit their crime. Somehow that gave me this feeling of vengeance, and that's what I wanted to portray in this costume. My first thought was then someone who would kill their partner for cheating, so I couldn't resist doing the Black Widow robe, and honestly, she does kind of remind me of Black Widow in the way I drew her. But here we go, our Black Widow Wrath. Sloth. Sloth is really less about not doing physical activity, although that can be a piece of it, and more about becoming indifferent about the work that you're doing to help people, or about God himself. So I wanted to represent this costume as this dark cloud, though have it hint at the good works it once did with the angel wings of jewels through its back. I know this one's simple, but she might be my favorite, and I really look forward to layering different black fabrics, be it lace or otherwise, to get the feeling in this piece. But on to the next. Greed. Greed is all about having so much material excess that it becomes your god. And as a sin of excess, a lot of it tends to be about what you're taking from others. For instance, in a society where everyone has a house, it's not really greed if you have 2. But in a society where many people have no home, and you have 7, that can become a problem. Because of that, I wanted to make the dress excessive. A ball gown with lots and lots of material that it doesn't need. White, but marbled. Marbled with blood and gold. But looking at that dress, it didn't strike me as villainous enough. So I made an alternative version. This one had more of a high collar, and more reds in the skirt. But I made absolutely certain to keep that white in the coat. Because when I think rich, I think of fancy white marble and a dress you can wear for one single day. And there we have it, 2 greeds. Honestly, they kinda look like mom and daughter. Gluttony. Even the name kinda sounds gross. Personally, I think gluttony is the most misunderstood of the 7 sins. This sin is about overindulgence to the point of waste. And the reason it's a sin is because your overindulgence might leave someone else hungry. It's about taking what you don't need, or wasting food that someone else could have eaten. Or even paying for food that's so expensive that the money could have gone to someone else or something else that could have done more good in the world. For this one, I wanted to make a dress of mouths. While I still like the idea, I wound up making this dress eat itself, and that's not really what gluttony does. Gluttony eats you. So I came up with a redesign where the dress is the mouth and it's more or less eating you or you're within it. But I still have mixed feelings about this one just in general. I like the idea, but I might have to come back to the drawing board, unless you guys really like this one. I don't know, this one might be one of those designs that's just rough on paper but looks super cool when you actually make it. You'll have to let me know what you think. Lust, or unbridled desire. Funny enough, whereas today lust is considered one of the worst sins, or at least taught as though it is, it's really considered one of the least of the sins, because it's a sin of the body, whereas the other sins are sins of the spirit, and spiritual sins seem to be considered worse. So because of that, I really wanted to have this almost lace bodysuit and a long skirt with people trapped inside, hands and faces pushing against it. But I don't know, something about this was bothering me, so I decided to give it another shot. This time, I made honestly kind of a bathing suit. It's more Aphrodite inspired. Loose and flowy and generally sparkly and pleasing to the eye. I wanted it to be the kind of look that draws you in and makes you stare. The whole if your eye causes you to sin thing. The whole basis on this is what will make the eye look. What will draw the eye. And honestly, I had fun with both of these, and I can't tell you which one I prefer. But these were the 7 deadly sins. Or 9 or 10, depending on how many I actually made. And I hope you really like them, and that you'll consider popping by the poll and telling me which one you think I should make first. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, I've got more for you there and there. And I hope you have a lovely day.